Hey everyone! So we've got this very interesting weekend, right? We've got Easter, Ramadan, and Passover all around the same time. And of course I'm thinking about Passover because my holiday just started. And that makes me think about this line from the Passover Haggadah that we say every year, which is that everyone in every generation should feel as though they themselves left Egypt. And that makes me think about the Egypts that we're trying to leave or the Egypts that we've left behind, where we are in this year. And let's talk about it. Welcome to this week's episode of It's Monday. What's Jonathan thinking? Welcome back to another episode of It's Monday. What's Jonathan thinking? But first, I'm in Houston and I got to get to Dallas. So we're going to take this show on the road. Come with me. Hey everyone, as you can see, I'm away from my studio. I'm here at a rest area somewhere between Houston and Dallas on my way home. Before I forget, quick shout out to Mackenzie Meek over at Vertex One for sharing your playlist with me. I've been listening to it the whole way back. It's wonderful. So thank you very much. I really appreciate the music. Second, let's talk about Egypt. And why do we have this concept? When you look at it, there's not a lot of historical evidence that the Israelites really were enslaved in Egypt. So where does this story come from? Why is it so important? And I think when we dive into it, we can take a couple of takeaways from this. Number one, the concept of an Egypt, the concept of something a place where you are enslaved and you have moved from that enslavement, from that shackling, to a place of freedom. That makes you extraordinarily lucky. If you are watching this episode, odds are you have access to YouTube, you have access to LinkedIn. That means you have a computer, it means you have an internet connection, means you hopefully have a job, means you have a career, right? So you are probably inordinately blessed in some way, shape, or form. And there is someone sitting next to you or not that far away from you who is still struggling. Maybe they're enslaved by poverty. Maybe they're enslaved by a dictatorial government that is keeping them from being who they were meant to be when they were put on this earth. So odds are you are blessed in some way, shape, or form, and there are people out there who are still struggling. And they might need our help. And so this is a point in our year where we can stop and reflect that we're not done, right? We are blessed, but there are people who are not blessed. And what can we do to extend these blessings to them? That is a sense of Egypt. The second sense of Egypt is an Egypt that is holding you back personally. Maybe you're having mental health challenges. Maybe you're having personal health challenges, physical health challenges. Whatever those challenges are, maybe there's a job that you're in that is not what you were put on this earth to do. It's an Egypt that you're in. And there's a freedom out there. There's something you were meant to do that you could be working towards. And so that is another sense of Egypt, right? Where we're in a role or in a career where we're doing okay, but it's not 100% fulfillment. And so the question is, what would it take to get you to that place of happiness, that different level of freedom that you don't have today? And we can take this moment, take this kind of inflection point in the year to take stock of that. I'm certainly doing it myself as I'm looking at, this is my April, the next fiscal year is starting. I have a whole slew of goals for myself and for my team that I need to set, and a vision that I need to cast for where I want to go, where I want my team to go, and where maybe they want themselves to go. We all need to work together to craft that vision. And this is the time to get a sense of what does that place away, what does that land of Canaan, that promised land, what does it look like for us? And what is it going to take to get there? So as you approach this week, take those two inflection points. One, recognize how blessed you are and ask yourself, what can I do for somebody who's not? Can I give to some Ukrainian aid foundation? Can I give time in my community? Can I extend these blessings that I have to somebody else? And the second is, what is shackling you? And what can you be doing to unshackle yourself? So with that, I'm going to cap it there. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Spring's coming, the warm weather is almost here. Get outside, get some fresh air, and I'll see you next week on It's Monday. What's Jonathan thinking?
Right now we've got Jonathan in action, feverishly trying to back up.
And not hit anything.
Yeah, it's very important that he doesn't hit anything.
Very important.
This turns into a National Geographic video covering Jonathan in the wild. What's he thinking?
What's he thinking? He's thinking, how do I maneuver
What's he thinking?
so I can get... I think I'm going to have to go up to go down.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's my thought.
Right now, if you notice, he's put on a special costume to cover his eyes.
Starting route to home. Proceed to